Number 4, the more things you can do, the better. The more things you can do, the better. Understand, when I first got into this business, one of my mentors is a lady named Miss Perla. All right, Miss Perla was absolutely fantastic. When I say she was fantastic, it was because of the amount of things that she was able to do. She was bilingual. She went from watching the infants all the way to watching the school-age kids, and she cooked the meals at times when people would work abandon and not show up, and she'd also drive the buses if she needed to be, okay? Understand, the more things you can do, to the point where I remember there was a point where it became my responsibility to drive buses and things like that. So understand, the more things you can do, the better. The education world, and when it comes to teaching young people, it's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about, like my man Robert Kiyosaki said in the famous book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's all about knowing a little bit about a lot. It's not necessarily about some, like I said, some fancy certification that you may have, some fancy degree at some fancy school. It's about how many things you're able to do and how much actual real life work experience you have. All right, number 3. Do not try. And again, this might sound very contradictory coming from me, seeing that how I go at it with the kids every single day, but you have got to make sure you're making an effort, putting the effort. Do not get angry at the children, all right? You got to accept it. This is something, like I said, is a difficult thing for me to deal with in the moment, but you cannot direct your anger towards the kids, all right? You got to direct your anger towards the system, towards the parents, all right? It's the parents, and it's whether it's the parents, the biological parents, or just the household in which they're raised in, the environment in which they're raised in. That's all they're doing is simply the shit that they think is normal. They are, if they don't, have manners, if they're rude, if they're this, again, that's all a product of the environment of the household that they're raised in. So the anger that you may feel towards a kid, you got to direct that anger towards the parents. You got to direct that anger towards the system. You got to direct that anger towards the household or the environment or the community in which they're being brought up in, all right?